Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a great subject for ourselves. So let's get right to it. Our subject for today is selling kids and young adults on success. What did he say? I said selling kids and young adults on success. Hey, listen, I got very blessed. I just got out of church just a little while ago, and I had this young man. He comes up to me, he's about 16 years old. And he said to me, he wanted to tell me, he said, I'm writing a book. And I said to him, that's wonderful. He told me a little bit about it. And then he says, you know how come I started writing a book? And I says, why? He says, because you said I could. And it made me feel so good inside. I feel like crying a little bit, but this is real. And I had to share this because I'm sitting there, I'm listening to the preacher. I'm thinking about this kid, and I'm thinking about all these children out there. We got to sell them on how to be successful. We got to talk to them. Because, see, a lot of times kids don't get nobody to tell them they are important and that they matter. A lot of times kids only hear people yelling at them. And I've been guilty of that because I got a young teenager, and sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, I've gotten on my mama's last nerve, and I know my son has too, but I love him so much. And I tell him all the time, I teach him about selling, I take him out with me. A lot of times, people don't even think that their kids need to know basic things, but see, they really, really do. And selling kids and young adults on how to be successful and how to get success is really, really important. You know, a lot of times we leave it to the teachers in the schools and we tell them to tell our kids what to do and how to act and so forth. And then they drop and they do things. We don't understand why they do things. And a lot of kids just drop right straight through the crack because nobody told them they were important. Nobody told them they were special, and nobody told them they mattered. A lot of times kids don't know anything about success because a lot of times they've been sitting in front of that computer or that TV and they haven't done any physical work around the house, cleaning the house, doing things. Now, you do have some kids that have single moms or single dads, and the kids have to do everything because they may have other siblings. But see, when's the last time you told them you loved them? When's the last time you told your kid you loved them? When's the last time you told your children or young adults that you care about them and that they can do anything they put their minds to? You have to do that. You know, my goal today is not only just to be a salesperson, but my whole goal is to sell people on the idea they can be the best that they can be. You got to tell children that, hey, you know, you can do things. Let me show you how to do things. You got to show them stuff, guys. They don't just learn from school because a lot of times they have no idea when they get out of school how to deal with finances. They have no idea because a lot of times their parents don't know or they haven't had anybody teach them about dealing with finances, how to get a car, how to buy insurance, how to do a lot of basic things. But see, as a salesperson, I'm always selling my son on the idea of being a business owner, finishing school, being successful. You know, I take him to places and I put him in situations where people he can learn from, mentors. I take him with me when I go out selling because I want him to see what it takes to have a job, what it means to deal with things. So now as a young adult, I have him working for me. And by him working for me, he's finding out how to be able to have a job and to do things and to work for a living instead of we just give and give and give. Because if you give and give and give and they have no appreciation for working, they won't when they get older. You know, our topic for today is selling kids and young adults on success. Yeah, we can give them everything and we can tell them, hey, you know, you get a prize just for showing up, but unless they go through complications and heartaches and issues and problems and failures, they're not going to be really successful. They're going to be coddled and then they'll be frustrated when they can't be successful. You know, we've told our kids that they can do a lot of different things, but then when they come to find out that they got to do a lot of things they weren't told about, like hard work, that it makes them feel inferior and they don't want to do the best because they hadn't told anybody say, let me show you how to be successful. Let me show you how to be the best. You know, a lot of times people talk down to children and young adults, and I've been guilty of it, and I never thought about it, but as I got a little bit older, I started being positive around the children that are around me, the young adults, because I build them up. I tell them they can do stuff. I tell them they're important. I tell them that, you know, I love them and that I care for them. And I make sure that I don't just say it, I show it, I prove it by showing up and building their characters up. Because young adults today, man, I'm telling you what, they're so lost. They don't know where to go. They don't have a clue about what to do. But they want to be independent because that's just the way we are. All kids want to be independent. But when they have a chance to go out and live on their own, a lot of times they don't know what to do. They have no clue. So we have to teach them. Don't let the teachers teach them. We have to be the teachers. As parents, as salespeople, you got children. Show them how to buy stuff, how to cook, how to clean, how to do the basics. Show them how to go to a bank and open up a bank account, how to use money, how to save money, how to tithe, how to give the church money, and so forth. You got to show them, because see, you showing them how to be successful, they'll be successful. But if you don't show them things, they're going to learn the hard way, and sometimes the hard way ain't the right way. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I told you, I'd tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and stuff that nobody talks about, the warts and all, in selling. And I'm selling myself that I need to help as many young people as I possibly can to be successful. Because, see, a lot of salespeople were young once. We all have to start somewhere. So if you're a young person, if you're getting into sales, or you're a little kid and you're starting to go sell candy to get stuff, you know, you have the option one day to be a great salesperson, a great business owner, a great manager, a great whatever you want to be. But see, everybody needs to learn how to sell. Everybody needs to how to work with money. Everybody needs to be able to have selling conversations, to be able to talk to people about finances, how to buy a car, how to get insurance, how to buy a home. And you're selling something every day, whether you believe it or not. I don't care what job you're in. As a young person, when you're just getting into a career, you're selling yourself. Do I need to go to work? Should I work harder? Yes, you should. You should always do your best. Strive for success, because, see, success breeds success. And remember, birds of a feather flock together. So if you got some knucklehead friends out there that are telling you, man, we can go party and all this kind of stuff. You can do drugs and things and alcohol and do things that are not healthy for you, or cigarettes and vapes or whatever. You know, you have to be smart in this day and age in this regard, because it's real easy to pick up habits. Good habits or bad habits. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley. I'm not trying to preach at you. I'm trying to teach at you. And selling kids and young adults on success means that we show them how to get there. Show them about the reading. Let them see you take classes. I'm still going to classes after all these years. My son sees me studying all the time. My son sees me listening to motivational materials. My son sees me reading books. My son sees me doing things that a lot of people don't do, because I want my son to be successful, and I know you do too. Want your kids and your children and families and people around you to be successful. Selling kids and young adults on success doesn't mean we coddle them. That doesn't mean we give them everything. We can't give them everything. They have to work for something. Because if you don't work for anything, you expect people to keep giving to you. And then people want more and more and more and more, but they get dissatisfied with their lives. Some people commit suicide because they were promised a rose garden, and what they got was a bunch of thorny bushes. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I told you I'd tell you some things that you may not have even thought about. And selling is important because we make the world go around. If you're a salesperson or a customer service person, take your kid to work one day. Show them what you do. Show them, let them go with you to presentations if you have that option. I do. I'll make sure my son sees stuff that a lot of kids never get a chance to see, because I want my son to be independent. I want my son to be successful. I want children that are in my privy to know that they're important and they matter. But they have to know they have to do the work. Because, see, somebody told me not too long ago, I asked him, I said, what was your success? He said, you got to work damn hard. Whew, My goodness, that's real good. I got to work real hard. Yeah, man, selling is wonderful. Selling and customer service, because everybody's selling something, a good attitude or a bad attitude. You got to sell yourself on being the best that you can be. If you're a kid or a young adult, hey, listen, it's up to you. You got to do the do. You got to show up and study. You got to learn. You got to go out there and work your butt off if you want to have stuff. You can't depend on your parents. And if you're a person who comes from modest means and you don't have anything, that's perfect. Because, see, you seen your family struggle. I saw mine struggle. My family's doing real good, because they worked their butts off and they showed me and taught me how to work, and that I need to work damn hard. And I know it's kind of hard to hear that, but listen, you can't make no money. This is selling for sure, because you got to see a lot of people. You got to go out there and get a lot of people tell you no, people. You got to hear people say, I don't want it, I can't afford it, all blah, blah. They give you all these objections, but we get through. It's a process. It's a selling process. We have to sell ourselves on wanting to be number one. We have to sell ourselves on I want to be successful. If you want to teach your children or young adults how to be successful, teach them, show them by example. Show them by example. Kids watch us. They do. They really do. And they want to emulate us. And they want to be successful. And when they get to be teenagers, they want to run that mouth because, see, they want to be independent. But see, we still have to give them hugs. I give my son hugs all the time. I tell my son every day, he's awesome. Now, I yell some too. I ain't gonna lie. I get frustrated because sometimes he talk back. But I did too when I was a kid. But I still love him. I give him the hugs. I tell him how important he is. I may sometimes say things that, damn, I wish I wouldn't have said that. But I tell him he's awesome. I tell him he can do anything he puts his mind to. And the reason why I know that is because I've seen him do it. Just like my mama told me. So go out there and sell something. But if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. And our total goal today is selling our kids on how to be, our young adults to be successful. If they don't learn from you, they won't learn from anybody else. So go ahead and be a mentor to a lot of young people, a lot of kids and young adults, kids that may not have a father or a mother or somebody who doesn't teach them what it's like to be a man or a woman, a person who they need mentors and people to tell them, hey, you have to work hard, and tell them nobody's going to give you anything in this world, and nobody owes you anything. You owe it to yourself as a young person watching this video, that you have to do whatever it takes to be successful. Not manipulation, not to take advantage of people, but you have to work damn hard, work smart, and do the things that other people say, that's not my job. Because great management and great people that are in sales or in business, they do everything. They start at the bottom a lot of times, and then they rise to the top. So my name is Gary Lee Stanley. We just had a really great conversation about selling kids and young adults on success. I hope you got a little bit out of this. I think I could make a bunch of different videos on this, because kids really matter. Young adults really matter, because all kids become older adults. And if we don't go ahead and start teaching them how to be successful now, they won't be. And I want you to know you're important and you matter. So go out there and tell those kids how much you love them. Show them how to be successful. And remember, what we do matters. So go out there and tell your kids and young adults how to be successful. Show them how to be successful, and be their friends and mentors and parents, because a real parent is one who shows them the hard stuff. So go out there and sell something. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. And remember, selling kids and young adults on how to be successful, it starts with me. And it starts with you. A little fist bump to give you folks a little encouragement. So go out there and do your job. Make people awesome in this world. Because we selling something. We're selling a good attitude or a bad attitude. We're also selling our families and children and all those people in our lives on how to be successful. So go out there and be successful. All right.